Hey everybody, welcome to another Colin support video. This one's on equations with variables on both sides. Let's go. So here's the first, let's see if I can zoom in there so we have an easier time seeing things. Okay, so there's the first problem. Let's just do this. So this is going to be negative f and then plus 2 plus 4f, and then it's equal to 8 minus 3f. Okay. So when you have equations on both sides, variables on both sides like this, what I always recommend you guys do is you simplify the left, you simplify the right, and then after you simplify both sides as far as you can, then you start to combine on the right side by bringing all your variables to one side, all your numbers to the other. So the first thing that I'd like you guys to do in this problem is to identify like terms on the left-hand side and see that this is a negative f, this is a positive 4f. And so what you do is you get negative 1f, there's always a 1 there if there's nothing there, so that'll be negative 1f, right? Plus 4f, add those together and get the simplified version of f on the left-hand side. So negative f plus 4f is going to be positive 3f, right? So you get positive 3f, and then the plus 2 comes along for the ride, and that's equal to, on the other side, 8 minus 3f. So now that you've combined all your like terms on both sides, you've simplified both sides as far as you can, now your goal is to bring all your variables to one side, all your numbers to the other side, because you want to get all the variables isolated on one side of the equation. Doesn't really matter which way you bring it, but I'm going to bring it to the left. So I want to get rid of this minus 3f by adding 3f to both sides. So you show that you added 3f to both sides. This becomes a zero pair, so I circle it, just show that goes away to nothing. What is 3f plus 3f? That is 6f. So you get 6f plus 2 is now equal to 8. You don't want to have the plus 2 on the same side as the f's. You want to isolate the f's, get them by themselves. So now you have to peel away that plus 2. How do you get rid of plus 2? Minus 2, or add negative 2 to both sides. This becomes a zero pair on the left. So you end up with 6f's is now equal to 8 take away 2, or 8 plus negative 2, which is, of course, 6. So now you have 6f equals 6. You want to get the f's all by themselves. So how do you undo times by 6? Divide by 6 both sides. And your final answer is going to be f is equal to 1. And that's how you do the problem. Okay, so f is 1. And go to the next one. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so for this next problem here, we're going to just erase all this work. Bye-bye work. And we'll start again. All right, so it says 7b minus 15 is equal to 5b minus 3. All right, so we're trying to, once again, simplify left and right side. There's nothing to simplify here. Both sides are already simplified as far as you can. So now you're going to bring all your variables to one side and all your numbers to the other side. You can bring your variables to the left or the right, doesn't matter. I like to bring them to the left in this case because I want my variables to be positive. So I would take away 5b from both sides, or add a negative 5b to both sides. And this becomes a zero pair. Now, if you're getting comfortable with this idea, at the same time, you can move the numbers away from the variables, right? We know bringing the variable to the left, so let's bring the numbers to the right. So at the same time, I can then add 15 to both sides. And you always want to show everything you're doing. Make sure whatever you do to the left side is exactly the same thing as you do to the right side. Always. Okay, you show it on both sides. So what you get here is a zero pair on the left, and you get a value on the right that we'll figure out. So ultimately, when we're done with all this work, we'll see that we have 7 b's take away 5 b's, which is 2 b's. And over here we have minus 3 plus positive 15, which is positive wins by how much? 12. So you get 2b is equal to 12. Then you want to undo times by 2, because you don't want the value of 2 b's, but the value of 1b, right? So how do you undo times by 2? You divide by 2, show it with a little fraction line, divide by. And 2 divided by 2 is 1, so this is 1b now is equal to what? Well, what's 12 divided by 2? 6. So b is equal to 6, that's your answer. B is equal to 6. So the next one. All right, so we're going to erase all this, start again. So this time we're going to do 16 minus 2r equals negative 3r plus 6r plus 1. Okay. Once again, combine any like terms you have on either side. I see that I can combine these on the right-hand side, so I'm going to combine them. I get negative 3r plus 6r, which is positive 3r's. So we get positive 3r plus the 1 that just comes along for the ride is equal to 16 minus 2r. You want to get all your r's to one side. In this case, it makes sense to bring the ones from the left to the right, because I'd have to undo minus 2r by adding 2r to both sides, get me a positive r value on the right-hand side, which is what I want. It's easier to work with positive r's. So that's what I would do. I would undo minus 2r, add 2r to both sides. If I'm going to be bringing the r's to the right-hand side, guess where I'm going to bring the numbers? To the left-hand side. So how do I undo plus 1? Minus 1 to both sides. This becomes a 0 pair. And now you are ready to simplify. So what is 16 plus negative 1? 15. And what is 3r plus 2r? 5r. I don't want the value of 5r's. I want the value of 1r. So I have to divide both sides by the coefficient of r. 5r divided by 5 is just going to be 1r, which is what I want. Isolate the variable by itself. And what is that r equal to? 15 divided by 5, which is 3. So 3 equals r is the same as r is equal to 3. The answer is r is equal to 3. And we'll go to the next one. On the next problem here, we are going to erase all this and start again. It says a minus 15 equals 4a minus 3. Your goal, once again, simplify left and right, then get all the variables to one side, get all the numbers to the other side, because your goal is to isolate the variable on one side of the equation, all by itself. Let's do this. There's nothing to combine, so you just want to get the variables one way or the other. I'm going to bring the a to the 4a, because if I take away a from both sides, it's going to be a positive 3a here. So I'm going to minus a to both sides. That's going to give me a 0 pair on the left. If I'm going to bring the variable to the right, then I'll move the numbers to the left. How do you undo minus 3? Plus 3. Not to one side, but to both sides always. And then this shows me that this is a 0. It goes away. And ultimately, what you're left with here is negative 15 plus 3, which is positive, or negative 12, I should say. And that's equal to 4a minus 1a, which is 3a's. You don't want the value of 3a's, you want the value of 1a. So how do you undo times by 3? Divide by 3 both sides. And you're going to get a is now equal to negative 12 divided by positive 3, which is negative 4. So if negative 4 is equal to a, then a must be equal to negative 4, and you're done. The answer is negative 4. Remember, for all these problems, for all those problems, if you want to check it, just plug it back in. What is negative 4 minus 15? That's going to be negative 19. What is 4 times negative 4? Negative 16. What's negative 16 minus 3? That's the same as negative 16 plus negative 3, so that's also negative 19. If you plug in the negative 4 for a into the original equation, you get a true statement. Negative 19 equals negative 19. So we know we got the right answer. That's how you do the problems. Hope that helps.